Welcome back to J&J Dynasty. Got the radio voice going on here, so we're not going to be coming to you from the dungeon here. Hello, bright, loud, proud, and bright today. What I'm going to be doing here today is obviously a July rookie ADP draft, and we are taking a look at 17 different drafts. Now, to start with, if you look up at the top of the bar just above the 2023, if you see any colors, for the drafts, there's like a reddish, a gold, a light gray, a dark gray, and a red. I have those color combinations on my skins. So for my team, so those are drafts that I actually participated in. All right. So then the blue number, the ADP, that's the overall ADP with all 17 drafts. May, June, and July, that's the average ADP for those months only. All right. And then the far one should be 17 because the blue ADP should be divided by 17. All right. So let's get into this video. As I said, it's going to be a 17 team ADP average draft position for rookies only. This is going to be rookies only. Anybody who is drafted who is not a rookie is excluded. So I'm just taking the average draft position of the rookies. All right, let's get into it. All right, so we have on this one, Bijan, as you can see, he's only not been picked to number one overall, and that was to a guy who was a Detroit Lions fan, and he picked Bijan number two. So he had number one, number two, and actually number three. He traded number three away, and he got back Williamson, the Detroit wide receiver. That's how I know that he was actually a Detroit Lions guy. So he must have bought the team and traded everybody away and got that. So this is where we're sitting currently with the average draft position overall as far as for the first round. First 12 picks of your rookies: Bijan, Jahmyr Gibbs, Smith and Jigba, Jordan Addison, who has usurped Quentin Johnson, Zach Charbonnet, Anthony Richardson, and Dalton Kincaid. Okay? So Zay Flowers, A-Chain, Kendra Miller, and Bryce Young. So you might be wondering in the yellowish greenish portion where the names are of the rookie players, what that's about. Those are the picks that I have on my rebuilding team that I'm going to be drafting starting Thursday. Is it Thursday? Yeah, I think. So hopefully we'll be adding a couple more drafts. Got end of July here. We've got about 4 or 5 more drafts to come up in the end of July. Then I also have an August draft. So point of note. So when I'm drafting, right, I see I've got number 9, Zay Flowers. I know that I can probably get Kendra Miller pretty easily at number 9. I don't have to trade up or trade back for him, but Anthony Richardson, I might have to trade up for him if I know that he's going off at that position right there. So that's a nice thing to notice too about the far right. So if a July position like Anthony Richardson there, 8.6 is up from 9.3. So he is still sliding up on boards. Charbonnet is also sliding up on boards. And as you can see, so is Dalton Kincaid. Zay Flowers is staying the same. So it's just kind of is what it is. It tells me that there's more interest in those guys, right? So let's move on now to the second round. And as always, with this information, you can pause the video to take a look at the numbers if you want to see somebody or look for somebody who you want to go after and get. You can see their entire draft history from the ADP on this. And these are all single quarterback PPR standard dynasty leagues on MFL. That's it. These are the only ones I'm following. So they're the types of leagues I'm specializing in. That's why I'm doing this. That's why people who are on MFL or other draft positions, this is actual ADP. This is not mixed in with Superflex data or other kinds of data, right? So this is simply pure one quarterback standard PPR dynasty ADP information, right? So let's get into the second round. So Sam Laporta is sitting there at 2-1. He's been holding steady. Jonathan Mengo, Roshan Johnson, Tajay Spears, Stroud, Michael Meyer, Tank, Mims, Reshi Rice, Chase Brown, Jalen Reed, and Josh Downs. All right. So the reason I did put Charbonnet on the thumbnail of this video is that I noticed that he was actually creeping up a little bit. So you can take a look back at the last slide just to notice that. All right. But as you can see, I've got picks 20, 21, 15, and 13. So 13, I'm fully well prepared to take Sam Laporta. If for some reason Richardson or Kendre Miller or something slides down to me there, that's fine. I mean, that's the whole goal is 9. I'm hoping for Kincaid or Miller or Richardson to slide down to 9. I'm hoping that Kendre Miller can slide to me at 2-1. At 2-3, I don't know what the heck I'm going to do. I might have to go reach and grab Tank Bigsby or grab CJ Stroud. I may have to grab Michael Myers if Laporta gets pulled, if I don't get a share of Kincaid or Laporta through those picks. So that's how I kind of look at things and why I want to go through them the way I do. Picks 20 and 21, I can see who the guys are there and who's going to be a reach and who's not. All right. So let's get into the third round. All right. So we also have Luke Musgrave, who is usurped Israel. Israel's been falling a little bit as far as the draft position. He was hanging on to the 24th slot for quite a while. If you want to go look at some earlier draft results and see where guys were before, there's a whole laundry list. I got the playlist set up so you can go back and watch some of those videos also. So you can see some progression of some of these numbers and see what I had to say at those points. But Jalen Hyatt is 27, Cedric Tillman, Zach Evans, Dwayne McBride at 30, which is what? 2.6 people. All right. Tank Dell, Schoonamaker, Michael Wilson, Sean Tucker, Eric Gray, and Pukanuka. So in this video, I'm going to put a couple guys who I think I'm a little bit higher on. The guys towards the back end of this draft who I'm getting shares of or trying to, I'm now going to turn my attention more to Michael Wilson. I've got a few shares of Keyshawn Boutte. So Michael Wilson is going to be a guy I'm going to draft. I think that he's got a profile very similar to Stephon Diggs. I'm not going to say that he is Stephon Diggs, but he's got a profile like him, so he could maybe bust out and be a late round guy who could actually do something with his physical attributes and the production when he was healthy, what he had. I like that with his profile. I like his tape. I like how he catches the ball. The thing, obviously he was injured almost his entire college career. Same thing with Diggs. Diggs was hurt before he came out, which is why his stock fell, right? So that's why I'm going to take a chance on me, because as you can see at pick 33, you're almost a 4th round pick in a rookie dynasty draft. Might as well grab him because most drafts, and that's pick 33. So if you look across, his average pick position is 48.2. That is definitely in the 4th round. So 48 is what, 5-1 on average. So if you're picking that late, that's one heck of a nice little pick to get him there, right? So another guy I'm trying to get as many shares of as I can is Sean Tucker, just for the simple fact that where he's being drafted also at 48, 49, 48.9, that's pick, 49, that's 5.2. At 5.2, you're getting a guy who was rated as a top 5 talent before the heart issues, right? And at a 5th round pick, I'm more than willing to grab a guy who has the ability to grab opportunity and shares touches in an offense that's going to be bad over White, because I think he's a much higher, better prospect than White is. So I think that he can surpass him in the lineup, and you can make some hay with him, even if it's for 1 year or 2 years, however long his career lasts. Hopefully his heart never becomes an issue for him. But if that's the case, we can do that even for a couple of years. And then if you trade him, as I said, hopefully he has a long career, you can trade him for something better and you get him for a 5th round pick. I mean, that's crazy. So that's one guy who I really want to be taking shots on later in rounds. And then, so we got what would be our 4th round of rookie draft picks. Will Levis, Keyshawn Boutte, Deuce Vaughn, Evan Hall, Hendon Hooker, Deneric Prince, Tucker Kraft, Darnell Washington's been getting drafted here a fair amount in July. Chris Rodriguez, Tyler Scott, Xavier Hutchinson, and Brendan Strange. If you look at Hutchinson, He was drafted in June. He really hasn't been drafted in July. So his number, and also Brenton Strange, he had who's one draft he was in. So that's those guys. And again, so I've got the numbers there uh, for average rookie guys where they're supposed to go, but I got to look at the ADP to see where they're actually going in the drafts. So kind of misleading there, but I do it for myself so I have an idea of which rookies should be coming off the board there. But as I'm following through the draft, I can, because I have the spreadsheet. I mean, you can come to the video and look at it, but I can cross guys off and I can see who's left on the board and who I should be going after next, right? So here we go. One of my last and one of my favorite picks. Um, we have Stetson Bennett, who finally got picked in the last two groups. So I added two drafts on this one, and Charlie Jones. He's one of the guys I'm going to be watching, and he's going to be one of my late year pickups as far as that goes. So when the injury reserve and the playoffs come, if I can get him on some rosters, I will, because Tyler Boyd's contract is going to end, and hopefully he's going to be their slot receiver of the future. Charlie Jones in Cincinnati. So you got Clay Toon, Trey Palmer, Kenny McIntosh, A.T. Perry, and then he's the last one. He's been drafted twice. He's been drafted twice after pick number 85, so he's got the number 84 twice. So on his stats there. So oh, I did 64. It was supposed to be 84. So there you go. That's what we have for the draft picks, right? So get that to that, and that's what we have. If you have any questions or comments or concerns, leave a comment down below. As always, like the video, give me a thumbs up, and please subscribe. I lost a subscriber, now I picked one up again, so I'm still back at 9. So I'm trying to get to double digits. Have some fun with it. If you enjoy the content and the conversation, please subscribe. And like I said, there'll be more drafts coming up. So with all that being said, good day.